Now, honestly speaking, my plan was to review this model much earlier this year, but then, life happened and I just never got around to do it. But now I finally have it in front of me, so of course we have to take a closer look at the very first Eurowings Discover aircraft model in scale 500, and thanks to the great prices of the FMB shop, we can do just that. And with that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at an Airbus A330-300 of Eurowings Discover. At the front of the box we have a cutout so we can get a glimpse of the aircraft model inside, and on top of the box we have the Eurowings Discover branding. The backside of the box unfortunately offers us once more a cutout, which of course is just dreadful, but Herpa doesn't care, so since they don't care, we don't care about their boxes, so we don't need to spend more time on that. So let's focus on the aircraft model inside. And here she is, the first ever Eurowings Discover in scale 500 from Herpa Wings, which is an Airbus A330 sporting the Eurowings Discover standard livery. Now, while the introduction of the Eurowings Discover brand makes sense for the Lufthansa Group as it helps them cut down on staff costs and undermine unions, it doesn't make much sense for passengers or customers. Basically, it makes just as much sense as the introduction of the June brand did once for Air France, so not at all. But that put aside, now that the airline does fly around in the world and we have a model of it, we of course want to take a closer look at it to see what it actually has to offer. And so on the vertical stabilizer we find the Eurowings color scheme. On the horizontal stabilizers we do also have a bit of detailing printed on, and on the fuselage we find the flag of the European Union, the German flag, and the full registration code of the aircraft. Towards the very tail of the aircraft we then also find a bit of detailing around the APU exhaust. At the front of the aircraft and across the fuselage we then find the Eurowings Discover branding. We do also find a few static ports, which is a nice addition, and underneath the cockpit windows we then have the Eurowings logo once more. On top of the fuselage and across the fuselage actually, because both at the back and at the front we do have set domes added, and I think Herpa has done a great job with those. They are fairly realistic when it comes to the size, something they struggled with in the past, but as I say, doing quite well with on this aircraft model. The cockpit section itself offers us the cockpit windows and the window wipers, with the rather noticeable black mask giving us some Neo vibes. What I particularly like about the cockpit section is simply the shape of the mold here. Herpa is doing very well with that on the A330. The engine nacelles have then been kept in all white, just as most of the fuselage, but do have the silver leading edge printed on, as well as some safety relevant markings. But that's all the prints we get here. When it comes to the physical detailing, however, I think they are doing a very good job with these A330 engines. And if we move on from the engines to the wings, which we should also take a closer look at, we can see here on the top side that the different flaps, slats and spoilers have been carved out very nicely. And we also have the marking as to where to walk on the wing. Then the underside of the wings offers us some more nice physical detailing with these lovely pylons. And of course the A330 also has these winglets, which again sport the Eurowings color scheme. If we then take a look at the landing gear, we can see this is the standard landing gear that Herpa uses for all their Airbus A330 family aircraft models, which is overall actually I think a pretty decent thing, because it actually does look quite realistic. The only thing I'm missing here of course is some printed details around the front landing gear, but luckily we can find some printed details on the belly of the aircraft where we find the Eurowings branding. Or at least part of it, because Herpa has of course immediately destroyed it again with a hole in a fuselage for a stand, which is not included with this aircraft model, making it completely pointless. And then last but not least, we do also have the doors to the cargo compartments printed on here at the back of the aircraft, and also here at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the very first Eurowings Discover A330-300 in scale 500 from Herpa Wings. And what can we say about this aircraft model? Okay, I have to be completely honest here. I would have much rather see Herpa do an A320 of Eurowings Discover, but of course me wanting a different aircraft type should not take away anything from the aircraft model itself. And that is, quite frankly, a very nice scale 500 aircraft model. Herpa does extremely well with the Airbus A330 mold. That looks simply brilliant. And the print quality on this aircraft model is also very, very good. The amount of Herpa nonsense has been dialed down to a minimum, so the only real nonsense here is really the hole in the fuselage for a stand, which is not included. The rest is pretty solid. They could perhaps have added a few more printed details here and there given how wide the livery is. I mean, that is a little bit stingy from Herpa Wings, but that's just how they are. If they can take away your money and do very little work for it, they will do it any day. And although we of course still don't have much choice if we want to have a Eurowings Discover model, because as I say, this is the very first, in my opinion, it is worth having in one's collection. And on that positive note, it is time to end today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like. That would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.